guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is one of the first normal videos on this channel in a little while, since I've been doing mainly moving vlogs. I don't actually know when this is being uploaded. At the current moment speaking, when I'm filming this, I have 2 more vlogs still to upload. One to upload, one to edit still. So I don't actually know when this is going up. Hopefully it'll still be a Wednesday like normal, but I don't actually know. Also the sun is setting a little bit because, as we know, we're into winter time now, where it gets dark at like 4 o'clock. So sorry if the light changes a bit, but I really wanted to start filming this because I delayed it so bloody long. It's November now and I finished university in like May. So fun times. If you didn't notice from the title, this is like kind of my university experience, kind of rounding up the last year and overall just talking about my university experience as a whole in the 3 years. In case you didn't know, I officially graduated. Like I had my ceremony and stuff just in October, 23rd of October if I remember. I'll try and insert some pictures at some point so you guys can see if you never saw, but if you follow me on Instagram you will have seen already, hopefully, because I put like a little post up on Instagram. I'm kind of doing a similar vibe of what I did in last year's video, where I kind of just break down. Are they okay? My sister has her friend over. I don't know, so if you hear random noises, I don't know what they're doing. I think someone just fell, I don't know, but anyways, I don't know if I actually wrote down my grades. Let me see. Yeah, I did. I've got my phone here because I wrote them down. I pre-prepared them like a week or so ago, and then I never filmed the video, so yeah. But I'll do what I did last year. I think I did this last year, where I kind of talk about the modules and the grades first, and then from there I'll kind of talk about other elements and stuff. So yeah, hopefully this video isn't too long, but as per usual, we all know that Iqra likes talking a lot. So it's bound to happen. So, you know, grab a cup of tea, whatever choice of beverage you like, some snacks, and let's get into it. So I had about, let's count how many modules. 1, 2, 3, 4 modules, and then including the 5th module, which was dissertation module, that spans over the whole year. 2 in one semester and then 2 in the second semester. So yeah, so I won't talk about dissertation first, since dissertation is its own whole thing. I'll talk about that at the end, or the end of this little section. So the first semester I had 2 modules. One was called writing for theatre, and the other one was the professional portfolio one. So that was my mandatory creative writing, since obviously my degree was actually called English and creative writing, so the creative writing modules were obviously mandatory. Like you had to do a creative writing module every semester. Well, in 2nd and 3rd year, at least 1st year you only did 1, but if you watched my video from 1st year you would know that. So yeah, we had a creative writing module obviously, and then I chose to do the theatre module, which was open to only creative writing students, which I think was really sad, to be honest. I feel like all the English students should have had the opportunity to do that, because it was open for, obviously, for the drama students first, and then secondly it was open to all the creative writing students. So anyone who did English and creative writing was allowed to do that module too. Like I said, I think everyone who did English should have been allowed to do that. But yeah, because the module overall was a very tough module, if that makes sense. It wasn't the hardest thing ever. It seemed like at the time, but when I got through to the assignment I was like, this wasn't very difficult, if that makes sense. It wasn't like it required anything specialist knowledge and stuff really. So yeah, in that module for the writing for theatre one, it was all 100% like, what do you call it, like coursework, I guess, coursework. So you had to write a script or an extract of a script for a play. So like about like 20 minutes into a play roughly, I think it was, if I remember correctly. It seems like such a long time ago. Like this was all the way back last year, around this time of year actually. I was submitting the assignment last year around this time of year, so that's crazy today. I can't even remember half of it. But you had to like kind of like write, imagine you were writing an entire play, like maybe like an hour to half an hour and a half long play, and you wrote like the first 20 minutes of it, and that's kind of the script you wrote. And then alongside you need to write a treatment. So the treatment would kind of break down like the overall, like if this was a full-length play, like how the play would go about, that makes sense. So yeah, so I can't remember exactly what mine was about, but it was to do with like identity and stuff, because I really enjoyed writing about like Muslim characters in my own like individual writing, like outside of uni, but also in like my creative writing work, and how like the struggle of like your identity of being British but also being like Pakistani and stuff. And like, so it was like a young girl, this one, because a lot of times I write older women, like working women and stuff, but this one it was a younger girl, like she was in secondary school, and I think, as far as I remember, she wore a scarf. I can't remember exactly now because it seems such a long time ago, and I haven't touched this ever since. Like I never had the desire to like carry on with it or anything. I think she wore a scarf from home, but when she got to school she would take it off. And she had a best friend who was white. She was just like, you know, white English girl. And yeah, there was like conflicts in her family over like how she didn't come home from school on time and stuff, and she lied that she had a revision class, you know. And I was just trying to present that we're not all that perfect. Like, kids that age, like, they may be Muslim and stuff, like, but they're not all perfect. Like, they're not going to be completely there yet, kind of thing. And the struggle trying to find that balance between like the two cultures and stuff. And like there was this whole scene where she did like a monologue and stuff, like where like she talked to the audience and stuff, and she was just like really confused, and she found this crop top that her best friend like gave to her for her birthday, and she hid it in like one of her drawers and stuff. And like instead she had to pull out her shalwar kameez, which is like obviously a traditional dress in Pakistani culture, and like she had to wear that as soon as she got home, get out of her like uniform and get into that, ready to eat dinner at the table with her dad and everyone, kind of thing, because, you know, that's seen as better, kind of thing, and best, like, you know, as like a good daughter and everything and stuff. Like, yeah, it was very interesting to write. They really liked it, the lecturers. There was a guest lecturer who came in to help us with the writing, like she's a playwright kind of thing, and she helped us, and she examined it the first time around. Like, she looked at it in my first draft and she really enjoyed it, and she gave me some tips and stuff, and she really liked how I was kind of exploring the two like contrasting things and everything. And on that I got a 70, which was a really great way to start the year, to be honest, to start third year, because it was obviously one of the first assignments I handed in. But I was just like, wow, that is great. So I think that's around a 2-1, I think, or maybe a first. I don't know the boundaries, I don't remember, to be honest, and it varies on based on unis, I think, as well. So I got 70 and I was very proud of myself, because I struggled a little bit, because even though like I'd done theatre before and I'd obviously written plays before, because I studied theatre for like 4 years, and you have to write like stuff sometimes. You have to like create your own plays and stuff, or create like mini pieces of theatre yourself. I found it very difficult because we didn't get a lot of support in that module. Like there wasn't a lot of like, there was support, but it happened right towards the end of the module, where like we only had a couple of weeks left for the assignment to be due date. And one of the feedbacks I gave was that it would be nice if we had like, because they gave us like this whole like PowerPoint presentation towards the end on like how to break everything up and how to do things and stuff, and like what kind of things you can include in your play and stuff. And because some of us had obviously it was primarily like a theatre, like drama module, but some people, they had never studied theatre before, including like the creative writing students. Maybe 1 or 2 of us only had or something, because I remember I said I had, and my friend Zara said she had studied like theatre, like she did it like being in college kind of thing. But I don't remember anyone saying that they'd ever done theatre before, so they'd never actually played around with play scripts and stuff. Like writing one, obviously studying is a completely different thing when you're like studying in English, but writing one is different. So yeah, I gave that feedback that it would be nice if we got that PowerPoint like earlier in the semester, like maybe it would have been helpful like during the writing process and stuff. So yeah, but I got a good grade, so there's that. But it was a bit of a struggle, I think, at first, but then like I said, once I got the grade, I was like, clearly it wasn't that much of a struggle if I got a really good grade, so you know. And then the second module was the professional portfolio 1, so that was the creative writing module, obviously, and it was focusing on professional writing, like how writing happens after like after the math, what is the word I'm looking for, like after you finish with like writing, after you finish like the degree, like the professional writing world and stuff, and focusing on that. We had I think for that module we had a lot of like guest writers come in and stuff, and it was really nice. Or was that the second semester? I don't remember now. Okay, so I just checked, it wasn't the first semester we had guest writers, my apologies. It was focused on similar things that it's always been focused on with creative writing, so like demonstrating coherent knowledge and understanding stylistics of the feature you're like, of the genre you're writing. Like it was really up to us this time. Like we had complete control of like the kind of writing we want to do, the genre, everything, whereas in the past years obviously we had to focus on something specific. Like for instance, in the second year, in the first semester we did nature writing, and in the second semester we did like, obviously it was quite varied then still as well, but it was like we had to do something poetry and something prose, like some both kind of thing. But this year it was totally up to us what we wanted to do, because obviously it's third year. Obviously they wanted us to develop into the kind of writers we want to be like once we graduate uni and stuff, because like the whole point of doing a creative writing degree is that in some sense you continue writing, whether you publish work or not, whether, you know, but like you'll continue writing, that's the aim, I guess. So the whole point of third year I think was to kind of develop our own in writing, I guess. So we did similar things, like the whole idea of like independent thought, authenticity, originality, inventiveness of writing, being able to take calculated risks, you know, standard, we've done this before, creative writing hasn't really changed in terms of structure. It's always been a, oh, that was my little Bluetooth speaker. I got scared. I forgot I had it turned on from earlier. Anyways, yeah, it's been standard, like we write a 4,000-ish word portfolio. This semester, for the first semester, it was 4,500, I think. Yeah, and then we write like 3,500 words is the creative section, and 1,000 words is the, what do you call it, the reflective commentary. You reflect on your own like work, and like, you know, you make the links of like how you did it and why you did it like that and stuff like that. Very standard. In this like module, like I said, we focused on specific things. So like, for instance, one of the sessions, if I'm just looking here, we did this thing where we like we had to do like a project proposal form. So we had to like fill out this proposal form like beforehand to say like what we were gonna do. Let me see what my idea was in the beginning. I don't actually remember. I knew I wanted to do short stories. Yeah, see here I am intending to write a collection of 4 to 5 micro short stories. The general theme is going to be romance, but at that point I hadn't decided like what specifically. Like, I just knew that I wanted to do romance because it's something I hadn't done before in uni, because I always felt really self-conscious to write romance for uni. I don't know why, because it's my genre. Like, that's pretty much what I love writing, and it's a lot of what I like reading. Like, if you ever see me on Goodreads and stuff, most of my reads are like contemporary romances, just because it's the genre I prefer, kind of thing. So yeah, I think I decided at this point, yeah, it says the story will follow couples of different ages. So like, yeah, and a defining moment in their relationships. And then I gave an example. So there might be a teenage couple and like first love, and like, you know, a young adult couple, like maybe in their 20s, and maybe like an older married couple or something. That's what I wrote as an example. And I go that my intention was to connect stories through unity of place. That was the concept like I wanted to focus on. And all the stories are going to be set in a fictional city in West Yorkshire. I originally wanted to do somewhere else. I can't remember where, Norwich, I think. But my lecturer told me to do somewhere that I'm familiar with, because I've never been to like Norwich, obviously. He was like, do a place you're familiar with. So even though if it might be a fictional town, you still make some kind of like something that's realistic kind of thing. And I was like, well, I've only ever been in Birmingham, first of all. And second of all, I've been up Yorkshire, like Bradford, pretty much, really. So because family and stuff, so I don't really know anywhere else in the UK. Like, I haven't explored anywhere else really. Like, I've been to Wales a few times, but it's like just beach trips really. So I just decided to do West Yorkshire, and then in the end I did actually set it in Bradford. So just to let you guys know in advance, I actually ended up setting it in Bradford. But I kind of made up my own stuff in a way. Like, I didn't really give specific places there. I just kind of said, oh, Central, like, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, and it's just like, it said, I wrote all the characters will be living in the same city, and some may possibly cross over into certain characters' lives and stories, whereas others will stay solely in their own world. And I've already decided the way in which I will write this is partly through writing prompts and partly through free writing, to get the ideas flowing. And then I wrote my intended audience are aged 18+, specifically women, but also just people who enjoy romance but don't necessarily like reading full-length novels, because there are people out there who just love reading short stories, and I've become such a fan of short stories now after writing them. So, you know, that's just kind of what we did. So we had to like write proposals. So that was my idea in the beginning. It changed over time. So we did like things like time management and, you know, all this kind of thing, and good writing practices, and like editing and how to do editing. And we had a little talk, I think, from Writing West Midlands by the look of it, because if I have some notes that says Writing West Midlands. Yeah, so then in the end I started to I cut it down to 3 short stories, and I love these short stories so much. I haven't looked at it in ages, so let's have a quick look at it just to see how I did. Yeah, there we go. So I had, the first short story was called Deep Attachments, and it was about a boy named Jamie and the girl was named Neve, I think. Yeah, Neve. And they were like, how do I explain this, like a young kind of couple. Like, they weren't really a couple as such yet, but they like were in school, and like he had a crush on her and kind of thing, you know, the standard. I wrote from the male's point of view, which was very risk for me, but I took a calculated risk. That's what I tried to follow, the like the points that was given in the brief and stuff, saying that, oh, take calculated risk, and I never write from male point of view, so I thought it would be a calculated risk. And it was really fun, even though it's very difficult to write from a male point of view. So I wrote from the male point of view, and like there was the whole, like they went onto the bus and everything, and then because they take the same bus back home and stuff, like, and then she got off and he got off like a stop earlier so he can catch up to her, and he like, you know, talk to her, and he like and it basically, there's an entire scene that was inspired by a Day 6 music video. If I remember exactly, I'll write the name of the Day 6 music video here, and if you've seen the Day 6 music video, you'll know. There's a scene where he like Sungjin taps the girl's back and like she takes her earphone out and he goes like, I like you and I don't expect you to like say anything to me back and stuff. Like I'm not expecting anything in return, but I just wanted to tell you that I like you, and I have for a while. And then he was just like, oh, get home safe because it's getting dark and it's getting late. It was just so adorable. But the girl didn't say anything afterwards. Like, it never like continued. That made like he walked away, like he walked off then. For this one, as Jamie, the character, was walking away, she grabbed him back and was like, oh yeah, I like you too. And it was just a start, like the blossoming of a relationship. It was really cute. And then number 2 was The Severed Lotus Fruit. Also, the names of these short stories were based on Chinese, Chinese, what are they called? I don't think I even wrote it down in my commentary. Like Chinese proverbs, is it? I think it's called Chinese proverbs. Either way, they were definitely from Chinese descent. I just found them online and they linked to the, like, I read the stories behind the proverbs and it just linked perfectly. So I just like I didn't write surrounding that topic, if that makes sense. I wrote the story and then I thought of the like titles afterwards and it just worked perfectly. So we have Severed Lotus Fruit, and Severed Lotus Fruit, like the proverb is about a relationship that is broken and can never really be mended, but it's amicable, like it's kind of like it's both-sided kind of thing. And it was about a young couple. She hasn't come back to Bradford in so long. She lives in London because she works in HR, and she's come back recently because there was like a big national like conference or something. I don't know, I just made shit up. And her car breaks down and she goes to stay at somebody's house. What was his name? I don't know if we even mentioned his name. I don't know if I even mentioned his name, to be honest. I don't think his name was important. Yeah, and they just talk and stuff, and then they were just like, you know, talking about how things have changed and it's changed a lot in 3 years and stuff, but they were like, it changed for the better and stuff. And yeah, it was just very nice, like kind of like just being like, you know, relationships don't always work out, but it's fine because, you know, we're both okay, we're both doing very well in our lives, and we both can stay mutual with each other and still stay friends. Essentially, we're not really friends, just stay like mature and like just, you know, still like there's no like hard feelings in a way kind of thing. So yeah, it was really nice. I never really write short stories like that. I really write like heavy romance a lot of the time, so it was nice. And then we have Good Husband Makes a Good Wife. So this is Simi Chopra. She was from the first story, like she was the teacher in the first story, in Jamie's story, and also she's the best friend of Chantal, or the ex-best friend I should say, because they haven't met each other in so many years, of Chantal, who's in the second story, because obviously she moved to London, so they never really talked to each other after that. So that's how they link, because they all know each other like that. So yeah, she's coming home from work, from, you know, a long day at school, and they're trying to get pregnant. And I tried to show like a different kind of culture family. I showed like a Hindu family, yeah, a Hindu family. So like they pray, and she's a very like dutiful wife and she loves praying and stuff. She prays to her God, and he's not very much into that kind of thing, but he's like, oh, my mom left you like a sacred thread. She went to the mosque, not the mosque, the temple, sorry, to pray and stuff, and like she left you a thread and stuff. So I said I'd put it on you for her. Like she wanted to stay, and I told her to go because I know you get stressed around her, because the mother-in-law really wants a grandson. Like she already has grandchildren from her daughter, but she wants grandchildren from her son, if that makes sense. It's a very like, you know, cultural thing, and yeah, all of that. And then like in the end they find out they're not pregnant yet, but like they kind of, it's just very nice. It's just showing how like supportive he is of her, and like that's the title comes from, a good husband makes a good wife, meaning if you're good to your wife, then she'll be good to you kind of thing. It was just, yeah. I've talked too long about this, bloody hell. But yeah, those are my short stories. I just wanted to talk about short stories because writing is the most important module for me. So yeah, and in that module, what did I get? It wasn't the highest, but so I wasn't happy, but it was really good still, so I can't complain. I got a 66, so I was happy. No? Yeah, 66, so it wasn't too bad, it was alright. And then in the second semester, again, I did a creative writing module, so I'll quickly talk about that first. Because I talk too long about creative writing, don't I? So yeah, that was called Professional Portfolio 2, and in this module is when we had writers come in and talk to us, and it was so nice. I got so much advice from them. Even now, like I can look back at my notes and be like, wow, I remember when this writer said this and stuff, and it was so helpful. So yeah, and we did like character profiles and all that kind of stuff. Again, we had to do a proposal form, and in my proposal form, what did I do? I'm planning on writing one short story in chick lit genre. The general theme will be romance. The main idea will be a young woman trying to find her place in the world. struggling between their different cultures, mishaps with relationships, blah blah blah. The short story will also include characters who are people of color, most notably South Asians, because the main character was South Asian, obviously, and people of varying religions, and you know, all that. I really wanted to have diversity because I realized I write so much romance over the years, but I never, considering I'm a woman of color myself, I don't tend to write characters of color, which was shocking to me when I realized that about myself. I was like, wow, I'm a woman of color myself, but I don't tend to write characters of color very often. I know it's not the most important thing, but for someone like me, I'm writing my own journey. Like, my voice of writing comes through, like my own voice, and my own experiences are like different due to being a woman of color, if that makes sense. Like, we all have our own experiences depending on the kind of person we are and stuff. So yeah, I wanted to focus mainly on that, and now naturally it comes out in my writing. Like, I naturally just write people of color, even if they're not the main character, and even when they are, like, they naturally just come out now. And I think it's a really good thing to do that, because, you know, we always need diversity in writing. Like, it's getting better, but like, we're not there yet, kind of thing, so in the writing world. So yeah, but yeah, so, and then I go, again, I was just gonna do like a general thing, like audience is age 18, they prefer, you know, enjoy romance, but they often don't find characters to relate to. And the main purpose behind writing this was because I read romance my entire life. Entire life I've read romance. Like, literally I started reading romance like age 10, which is probably not very good for a 10-year, like, how old are you when you're age 10? Yeah, 10-year-old, that's what I'm trying to say. A 10-year-old, yeah. But I read romance my entire life, but I never really saw characters who were like me. You get me? Like, there wasn't characters like me, there were Asian characters or anything. So yeah, so I really like this short story. It's one of my favorite, and I'm now extending it into a novella if I can. I was supposed to be doing National Novel Writing Month, but it's been a struggle because of moving to the new house and settling in, and me being really ill. Like, if you can tell, I look a bit, I'm very ill right now. So yeah, but I'm trying. Even if I don't make it this month, I'm still going to continue writing it either way. So yeah, but I liked it so much that I wanted to create it into something longer, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was called Not Arranged. I really don't like the title, but it's kind of just stuck now. So yeah, and her name's Iqra Arshad, and you know, she's a working woman in London, standard, you know. And it's very, I don't know, I find it gives me very Bridget Jones vibes, but she's South Asian. Like, you know, like, she's just living her life. She's not a hijabi, but I wanted to explore Muslim women who don't necessarily wear hijab, but she's still kind of religious, and she still wants to find a good husband in the future. All that stuff, like the pressures of finding a husband at her age, and she's not even that old. I think she's like, I can't remember exactly, but I think she's like 25 or something, and she feels like pressured, and she's like, oh my god. And then she's like, I don't know how to cook and everything, and it's just very interesting. If you've never read it before, I'll leave it down below, because I've got it on Wattpad, because part of this module was to get your work out there into the real world, whether you post it on like an online forum, or like you publish it to like an online magazine or something like that, or to even a publishing house. And I decided Wattpad because the style of writing just fit Wattpad style. I already had a Wattpad account, so it just made sense. So I'll post it down below if you guys are interested in reading it, because I really am so proud of this short story. So proud that I want to make it into a novella, which is proving to be very difficult, because I never thought through what could happen before that point in the short story and after that point. So I never thought about it, so it's proving to be very difficult, let me tell you that. Yeah, but I was very proud of that, and I love the guy that I've written to. Like, I don't know why, I'm very pleased with him. What's his name? Daniel. Yeah, his name's Daniel, and he's Malaysian Muslim, and she's Pakistani Muslim as far as I remember. Yeah, and so like, he's just very, like, in my head he's like a perfect guy. Like, he's a chef as well, and I'm just like swoon over my own character kind of thing. So yeah, in that module I got a 74, which is the highest grade I've ever got in the entire of my creative writing modules. And overall this year, that was the highest grade I got in my third year, and I was so happy, and that's what made me want to carry on writing this story. Like, I want to explore Iqra Arshad's life a bit more, and you know, her developing relationships with just friends, her own family, this guy potentially, kind of thing. So yeah, I was very pleased with that. Then the second module that I did was called Language, Media and the Internet. So it was an English language module, which in my defense wasn't the best module that I did. It was actually my lowest grade in the entire year. Yep, it was. I'm gonna tell you now, I got a 58. It was stressful. I was awake until 9-10 o'clock that morning, submitted it, and then I had breakfast, and then I knocked out. It was stressful. The module itself, like, was very interesting. I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I love the media and the internet and stuff, and exploring how people talk on there, and like how like crazy like marketing is and advertisements and all that kind of stuff. It was really, really interesting, but it was very difficult because we didn't have a lot of support in terms of how like the module planned out. I guess because I think it was the first time the module was running, or maybe only the first year or so. Yeah, it was the first time the module was running, so I think it was very difficult to figure out how to do things. And I think that because it was the first time I got a 58, like if it wasn't the first time I probably would have got even lower, because I think my entire, what was it called, like my entire 4,500 word assignment was not good, to be honest. You had to collect data and everything, and it was very difficult because I hadn't done language since the first year, because in the first year it was compulsory, and it was so difficult. Like, oh my god, it was so difficult. And I got support from my friends, like specifically Rena, because she'd been doing language before, like in the second year too, so she had experience with the data collection and all that. But it was still very difficult. So in case you're wondering what I did, I decided to focus on Twitter, because you said to choose something and then choose like a social media site, I think it was. Was that what it was? I don't remember exactly now. What was it? Let's see. Assignment brief. I can't find it anywhere. But basically, I think you had to choose something and then like choose like a topic of some sort and then explore that on a specific social media site, or you could do like two and compare two social media sites and stuff like that, like the one topic on two social media sites. I think it was like a social phenomenon or something like that. So what I did was speech communities. That was my title. It's called Speech Communities. Can fans of two K-pop groups create a relationship with their idols? So if you didn't know, I am a K-pop stan. So I explored BTS fandom and the GOT7 fandom on Twitter, and how that Twitter can be used as a way for them to interact with their idols and like become closer with them and stuff. And I'll try and read a little bit of extract to you because it was very interesting, I'm gonna admit, but my execution of it I don't think was very great. I could have gone deeper, and he even said that, my lecturer, he was like, you could have gone into more detail. And to be honest, it was 9 AM. I was shattered, so it was not happening. So here we go. I go, as long as there has been a subject of interest, there has always been fan communities. Before the rise of the internet, these communities were reliant on physical encounters through conventions, book signings, and meetup events. Due to there not being wide success, the wide access, the success of these communities was affected by location and geography. So fandoms were often local and specific, with slight eccentricities that could vary regionally. So then I go, this is my introduction, I'll just read that because it's just 3 paragraphs, very small paragraphs. With the existence and growth of the internet, these offline fan communities were able to find a place to interact and create a wider community than with those who are just around them. Fans are able to interact with other fans from many countries across the world. Not only are they able to talk to other people with common interests, but they can often communicate with the subjects of interest themselves. This happens amongst many different kinds of fan communities, but within music fan communities, the fans are able to build relationships, and I wrote it in like quotation, like relationships with the artist in question. Since there is generally wide access to the internet, fans are aware that the artist can potentially see their messages to them. Platforms such as Twitter have made this possible. And then I go, this essay explores how fans within 2 K-pop fan communities use Twitter to create a relationship with the groups they support. The K-pop fandoms are the ARMY, so I wrote it like in quote ARMY, and the AGA6/AGA7s, which are the fandoms for 2 Korean pop music boy groups, BTS and GOT7. In this context, the essay looks at 2 hashtags on Twitter, so hashtag BTS and hashtag GOT7, and researches how the language in the tweets reflects the user creating a relationship with the group as a whole or certain members from the group. So yeah, it was a really long essay, and I did so much research, and I did like my main analysis focused on, like, if you've done language before you'll know, multimodal elements. I can't see anymore, where is it? Positioning. Oh wait, where's the second one? I've just lost one. Positioning was the last one, so where's the other one? Oh, speech communities, positioning, and multimodal elements, because obviously it's Twitter, so you have multimodal elements like pictures, music, emojis, videos, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a very interesting module. I can't lie, it was a very interesting module. I think I have to turn my lights on. Give me a second, I'll turn my overhead lights on. Now I'm probably gonna look very, very orange, aren't I? That is fun. Let's turn the brightness up a little bit. Yeah, so like I said, it was a very interesting module, no denying that at all. But it was very difficult, and I underestimated how difficult it would be, and I had so much fun collecting all the research, literally like searching through Twitter for research and like looking at the tweets of the different fandoms was so much fun, and comparing and contrasting how like individuals try to create a relationship with idols. Like if you follow K-pop communities, you know it's an intense like relationship with K-pop. Like K-pop idols work so differently through like compared to different like Western artists. Like they create such close bonds with the fans in different ways. Like the reason why K-pop fans even like K-pop groups so much is because of the connection. Like I feel like the connection helps you fall deeper and deeper in love with them and their music. Like it's insane. So I really had fun doing it, but it was very difficult, and I got 58 which was my lowest grade of the year. So I mean, it didn't pull me down, so it was fine, so it was okay. So yeah, and then my last module was my dissertation. But if you want to hear about my dissertation, you can watch my dissertation vlogs, which I will link up here. Wait, up here if I can. I had dissertation vlogs, so you can follow my whole progress of it and like what it was about and everything. But just briefly, I was writing a short story. We had to write 10,000 words, obviously, because that's what your dissertation tends to be. Where is it? There we go. Let's find it, because I had so many different like copies. I had so many different documents and stuff. Oh yeah, we had to write an abstract, so I can read the abstract to you because that will give you basically what the whole entire thing is about, if that makes sense. Because we had to write an abstract at the beginning to say like, this is what the essay will be about. For us, it was like, this is what my story is about. Connection, that's what it was called, the short story. Connection is a young adult fantasy dystopian short story. The story is told through a dual narrative where the reader gets to understand the story from both characters' perspectives. The story's main theme is the idea of soul marks and how soulmates are predestined for everyone. The main question the story explores is if and how the two protagonists can overcome their own problems and accept their destiny. So then I wrote, the male protagonist, Elijah Harrison, has grown up hearing about soul marks and knew he wanted to be with his soulmates as his parents had done. Through Elijah, we see dreams wherein the connection between soulmates is established. During the main dream in the piece, we see that his soulmate is a self-harmer. Elijah finds himself always prepared with bandage dressings for any cuts that could appear on his own body because they're connected. So if she cuts herself, he gets a cut and bleeds too. He doesn't feel the pain that she feels, but he still gets a mark on his body, so he was always prepared and stuff. The female protagonist, her name is Rubelin Alon, and she rejects the idea of soulmates. She's a mixed race teenager with a mother who is African American and a father who is Filipino, so she already sees enough problems with herself without having to deal with this forced destiny. She has difficulties with her identity and relies on self-harming. Although the male protagonist had several dreams, the readers don't see the dreams from her as their connection isn't strong enough from her side. So it's only strong enough from his side, so he gets dreams, whereas she doesn't tend to get dreams. That's why when I wrote it, I didn't really write dreams from her perspective. When the two finally meet in her new home of Stillwater, fictional town in America, she is confronted by the destiny she had been running away from. However, she rejects it and runs away. Oh, I don't know if that even makes sense. It's fine. It was late when I submitted this, it's fine. I still got a good grade. She is later found by Elijah with fresh cuts on her arm. They talk about her problems and she realizes she needs to try and accept her differences. She agrees to give her new town a chance and decides to get to know Elijah. The story ends with his narration about how much he had learnt in the day from Rubelin. It was very interesting to write. I loved writing so much. It was really nice to again explore diversity in characters and explore like this idea of struggling between two sides of you, two cultures and stuff essentially. So yeah, it was a really lot of fun. I don't think I've posted it anywhere, I don't think, but if you guys ever want me to post it somewhere, let me know and I'll post it on Wattpad. And my grade on that wasn't the best. It wasn't the highest, but it was very good still, like, because we had to do a 5-minute presentation as well, which was 15% of our grade, and then the rest of the 85% was this, like the dissertation itself. On the presentation I got 66 because I got higher than the actual dissertation. Yeah, and then in the dissertation I got 64. So overall, because the dissertation itself counted for more, I got 64 overall, which isn't bad at all. Would have preferred higher considering how much effort went into it, you know, how much my lecturer liked it. But then it was being second marked as well, so the lecturer isn't the only one. Like my dissertation supervisor isn't the only one who marked it. Like someone else in the English department marked it and she might have like not agreed with certain things, so it's fine. But yeah, if you ever want to know like the process and more details about what happened, definitely check out my dissertation vlogs if you're into that kind of writing vlogs and stuff, like, yeah. So that will give you more insight into like how stressful it was. If you're writing a dissertation, like, don't worry, other people have been there. You can kind of get through it by watching my vlogs, hopefully. So yeah, so those are my modules and what I got in each individual modules. So I just quickly wanted to just touch on little things because the video is probably already long enough. So my social life wasn't any different from the other years, really. I still went out with my friends a little bit sometimes when we could after uni, like, but third year got really intense because the workload was a lot more, so we didn't hang out as much. Most of the time we'd probably eat in town very occasionally, like we'd eat on our way home and then we'd go home, but sometimes not even that. Like most of the time someone would probably stay back in uni, some of us would go home to go on work straight away. Some people actually physically work, like they have a job, part-time job and stuff, so it was very stressful in that sense. But it wasn't a major thing. Like I didn't feel like, again, like I said this in the last 2 videos, I don't feel like I missed out on much, like clubbing, partying, clubs and societies. I don't think I missed out on much because I never found a society that worked for me, time wise, topic, like theme wise. I didn't find anything that worked for me. So yeah, so it was a major thing for me, so I didn't feel like I missed out on much, especially because I was doing so much outside of uni already. Like I was doing my own individual writing, I was doing YouTube and all this stuff as well, so I had enough on my plate already to do, like, to add another thing like a society and stuff. It wasn't a major thing, but I really did enjoy third year. I've got really good memories of third year, actually. Yeah, thanks to all my friends at uni. But like my friends made the year for me, to be honest. Just overall, I think I'm just gonna conclude university, I think, because I don't have much more else to say. Specifically, I don't have anything to say on third year. Like, I've given you my grades and stuff, and like that's what I really have to say, because third year was very much focused on the actual degree for me. Like I was very focused on studying and getting my assignments done and all that. So yeah, overall I really loved my 3 years at uni, to be honest. I could never have imagined myself studying somewhere else. Originally I applied to my first choice to be a lot bigger university. It's the Birmingham Central City University. It's one of the big ones in Birmingham. Yeah, I was originally gonna go there. That was my first choice, and I was so sad when I didn't get in. But at the same time, when I think back to it now, if I had gone there, I feel like I would be very lost. Yes, there's a chance to meet more people because there's more people there, more types of people. There's a lot of international students too as well. Like we don't really get international students at the uni I went to. Very rare we get any, to be honest. And if we do, it's usually Erasmus students, which is really nice, but they're only over for like a semester or so. I interacted with a few Erasmus students and they were so nice, and it was so nice to hear their point of views as well, because you know they're from a different country. A lot of the times they were from Germany, I think. Yeah, a lot of the times they were German, but it was really nice to hear their point of view. If I had gone to that bigger university, I feel like even though I would have got to meet more people and get different opinions from people and like learn more from other people, I would have been very lost in such a big university. So I'm kind of glad that I went to the small university that I did. I think I did very, very well. If you didn't know, I did actually graduate with a 2-1, which is kind of like the higher end of the spectrum. Like it's the first and then a 2-1, and when you've graduated, most graduate jobs expect the graduates to have at least a 2-1, if not a first, kind of thing. So I think I've done fairly well for myself, especially considering English isn't the easiest of the degrees. Most people think you just sit around reading books all day. You really don't, and a lot of times those books are very thick, heavy, and very hard to understand books. And for me, a lot of it involved, it wasn't like critical writing, a lot of it for me, because I didn't do a lot of the literature modules. I did a lot of creative writing modules. So just imagine I had to create entire words and worlds, like entire worlds from up here onto the paper or onto my laptop. So that was tough. But I thoroughly enjoyed my 3 years at university, and I kind of miss it, I'm not gonna lie. We're into November now and I'm really missing university. It's partly because I haven't got a job yet, and if I have a job, maybe I wouldn't feel this kind of loneliness of university and missing and longing. I would in no way repeat the 3 years that I had. I would never do that again to myself, I'm being honest, which is why I haven't gone back for a master's, because in the future it would be nice to do a creative writing master's degree. But at the moment I'm leaving it, I'm just having a break, try and get into some work for a bit, and then maybe see in a couple of years time maybe go back for a master's. But I could never do that again right now, especially because I went from secondary school straight to sixth form, straight to university, no break at all. Like I went straight education, and it was so tough. Mental health, physical health, let's be honest, I've been very ill in the last don't know how many years. it's been a struggle, but yeah, I've made it through, so I'm really proud of myself, honestly. To be honest, it was a really big thing for me. I'm the first out of my family to go to university. Obviously first I'm the eldest, but also my mum and dad didn't go. My mum kind of went. She went, like, the school she was working at kind of sent her to get like a degree, because like they used to do that back in the days, I feel like. But she couldn't because she was pregnant with my sister, one younger than me, and then she had to drop out, kind of thing, so because it was too difficult for her. So my dad did something, I think he did a BA in Pakistan, but I don't actually know for definite. I was the first to go to university in my like immediate family. Obviously, like, I've had cousins who've gone and stuff, but in my immediate family I was the first, so it was a big thing for my family. And like graduation was a big thing for my family, even though I was just like, I don't care, it's just, I'm just graduated, I'm finally finished university, like, kind of thing. But it was a big thing for my family, and the graduation ceremony was so nice. It was so nice to see so many of my friends. Not many of them graduated because some of them have gone back to uni, but it was still nice to see the ones who were there. Who are they? If they watch my videos, I don't know if everyone watches my videos, but if they know who they were. It was really nice to study with all of you, whether I studied physically like on the same degree as you, whether you all were doing different degrees, which some of them were, they were all doing different degrees. It was very, very nice to go through this journey with all of you. Overall, I would just say that if I knew pre-hand, I maybe wouldn't have gone to university. I just still suggest, like, after going to it for 3 years, I still suggest it's not for everyone. If I knew what I wanted to do, like for now, I know I want to do content marketing, I didn't have to go to university for that. There were so many other options, and I wish the college, the sixth form I went to, had given us like more advice on what to do outside of just going to university. Like, the main thing they taught us was, oh, you go to university, kind of thing. And I mean, of course I wanted to go to university. It was a natural next step for me. Like, I've always wanted to go to university. Like, it was like, oh, I go to school, then I go to college, and then I go to university, kind of thing. It was a natural progression for me, but at the same time, it would have been nice if we'd known other ways to get through life, if that makes sense, because the debt of the student loans is a lot. So yeah, and it's not always worth it for some people. For me, it's been worth it because the experience I've had, the new skills I've learned, and also just discovering myself. I think I was always told by family members and other people that I was quite mature for my age, but I feel like I really matured up in uni. Like, that was the point where I really matured up, like learning how to like cope myself and stuff. Like, obviously I didn't live away from home, but like learning so many new things was like a different experience, kind of thing, altogether. And for me personally, like, learning how much I love writing and want to be a writer was a new thing for me. Like, I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go to university, if that makes sense. I would have known how much I love writing and how much I want to continue writing. Whether I become published in the future or not, I will let you know. Keep a watch out this space, because if I do ever get published, I'll let you know right here. But whether I do or not, I don't care. I just love writing so much now. I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go to university. So for me, it was worth it, but if only I had known beforehand, because not for every job you don't need a degree, kind of thing. Like, I have so many people I know now that didn't do degrees, and they did apprenticeships and stuff like that, and like they still got good jobs in the end, and they're very, very happy with the route they took, and that's totally fine. Don't ever feel pressured that you have to go to university. And that's one of the main things I wanted to make out of this video, that after doing it for 3 years, I still feel like it was a necessary thing, like a thing I necessarily had to do. It's just something that I'm glad I did in a way. And I want other kids to know that they don't have to feel pressured to go to university, because it's not the only route you have to take. Like, my younger sister, who's 19, she hasn't gone to university. She did her 3 years at bakery, and she's now finding a job, and she's very happy with the route she's taken. And we've all told her we're so proud of her, because obviously she's got special needs, like educational needs and stuff. Like, she has learning disabilities. It's a big thing to even get as far as she's gone. Like, the fact that she doesn't want to go to university is not a problem. Like, she doesn't have to go, kind of thing. And like, the fact that she's trying to find a job now and like get like settled into the kind of baking field is a good thing for her. So just don't feel pressured that you have to go to university. It's not for everyone, it really isn't. And I'm not the most educational person ever. Like, everyone thinks like, if you go to university you're clever, but you're really not. Like, I was one of those standard students who like got average grades in school, average grades in sixth form as well. So, you know, and even during university I was averaging until maybe end of second year, beginning now third year, I really pushed myself to go higher. But before that I was a pretty average student, and I have to work hard at what I do to get the kind of grades I did. I'm not naturally clever, if that makes sense. I don't naturally excel at academics. As much as I loved education, and I still do, I'm not naturally clever, so I had to work at it. So never feel pressure that you have to do university, because it really, for you, if it isn't worth it, don't do it. So that's the main thing I wanted to get out of this video, that just don't feel pressured to do university if you don't want to. It's not required for every job in the world. Like, there's so many jobs out there that don't need it, and there's so many jobs out there that probably haven't even been invented yet, and maybe invented in the next couple of years to come, and you might find yourself in one of those jobs that didn't even require a degree because it's not even invented yet. So yeah, that is all. This video was very, very long. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all those people who've been following my educational journey back from school till now, because I started this channel when I was in my last year of secondary school doing my GCSEs. So you kind of, if you've been following me since the beginning, you've kind of followed my entire educational journey. So thank you very much for all those people who've been following me for that long. Even if you haven't been following me for long, just following my education journey in general, because I post videos about my education on this channel, obviously. Yeah, just let me know in the comments what you think. If you guys want to see like a post-graduate video now, because I know someone asked how's graduate life going and stuff like that, I will keep you guys updated. I don't know if I'll do an entire video, but I will keep you guys updated. Let me just tell you one thing. Postgraduate life is hard. Graduate life is very hard. So yeah, that is all. Again, thank you very much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Yeah, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell down below, because I'm still uploading videos. Do not worry. It's just taking me a while to settle into my new routine of not being a student anymore and now being in a new house too. And I'm applying to jobs, and it's a very stressful time. Very stressful time. So I'm trying to do videos again. Don't worry. I won't be filming in this setup permanently. I have planned to do a filming corner, but I can't do it yet. I need to make a filming corner kind of thing. So for now, we'll be using different spaces in my room for my background, but I'll have a permanent filming corner eventually, because I have enough room in my new bedroom to do that. Create a small little filming corner. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And again, just leave me suggestions for what kind of videos you want to see, whether it's fashion, lifestyle, beauty, advice, more educational videos. I don't know what everyone wants to see, but whatever you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I guess I will catch you guys in my next video, whatever that may be, whether this goes up before my last vlogs or whether my vlogs go up first and then this. Thank you for sticking by for a long video, because Iqra talks for so long. Yeah, toodles, bye guys, toodles.
Down, yeah. I've been feeling so